Welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Well, today we're diving headfirst into some drama with Wynne Evans.
Oh, the Go.Compare guy.
The one and only. Seems he's found himself in a bit of a scandal while on the Strictly Come Dancing live tour.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, bit of a shocker. We've got a whole stack of articles and first-hand accounts about it all. And
I bet it's juicy.
it's a doozy, let me tell you. So basically, the tour kicked off in Birmingham on January 16th.
Right?
And it seems Evans made a comment to Janette Manrara, you know, one of the dancers and the tour host.
Oh, yeah.
And some are calling it wildly inappropriate.
Really? What'd he say?
Well, we're talking a remark of a sexual nature.
Oh, wow.
And get this, the whole thing was caught on video.
Oh, yikes. That changes things.
Doesn't it? It's like you can't get away with anything these days.
True, that technology, huh? Always watching.
Always. And the thing is, apparently this wasn't just a one-time slip-up.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, yeah, there are reports of multiple warnings Evans was given about his behavior before this even happened.
Starting to see a pattern here.
Right. And the Sun even quoted some anonymous source saying Evans wasn't taking these warnings seriously at all.
So not just a misstep, but maybe something a little more, I don't know.
Exactly. And, you know, the BBC is taking this pretty seriously.
Yeah, they've got...
Zero tolerance policy and all.
Right, and they want to protect their people.
Exactly. They've been very clear about wanting everyone to feel safe and respected.
Good for them.
So after the Birmingham incident, Evans was told to step back, you know, do some self-reflection.
But you wonder what was going through his head.
Right. Like, was it, oh, I messed up, or, uh-oh, I'm in trouble?
Probably a bit of both.
Probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, he did issue a public apology saying his language was unacceptable.
Okay, so he owned up to it, at least.
He did. And he even missed the Glasgow performance.
Oh, really? Why?
He said it was an ankle injury.
Convenient timing.
Right. But here's the kicker. He's still sang.
Interesting. So just no dancing.
Yep. Just belting out those tunes.
Avoiding the spotlight, maybe?
Maybe. And speaking of spotlight, this isn't even the first time Evans has raised eyebrows on Strictly.
Oh, there's more. Fill me in.
Last year, when he was actually competing, he and his partner, Kathy Jones, had to apologize for a joke.
A joke? What happened?
Well, she had to literally move his hand away from her waist.
Oh, awkward.
Very. And then there was another weird moment where she seemed hesitant to high-five him.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they called it a running joke.
But
it definitely got people talking.
looking back, it all seems a little, well, a little less funny now, doesn't it?
Right. Makes you wonder about his judgment.
Yeah, it's not a great look.
Not at all. And, you know, Strictly itself has had its own issues with conduct behind the scenes.
You're talking about that whole chaperone system thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a whole other can of worms.
It was. Contestants complaining about behavior during training.
A whole mess.
It's a total mess. So now you've got a show already under scrutiny and one of its stars causing a stir.
Yeah, it's adding fuel to the fire for sure.
Big time. And it really makes you think, right, what's acceptable behavior these days? Are we overreacting, or are things actually changing?
I know, it's a tough one.
It is. And this is where things get really interesting.
I can't wait to hear more.
Well, buckle up, because we're about to unpack this whole thing even further. Okay, so we've got the Wynne Evans situation laid out.
Yeah, we've got the facts.
But now I want to, really dig into this.
Get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, because it's not just about one comment, right? It's about how this all fits into the bigger picture.
It's about a pattern of behavior and how we, as a society, are reacting to it.
Exactly. And the BBC's reaction is really interesting, too.
Oh, yeah. What they do is important.
Right. They wasted no time announcing that Evans would be taking a break from his BBC Radio Wales show.
Whoa. That's a big deal.
Huge. Shows they're serious, you know?
No messing around.
But it also makes you wonder about Evans's career, you know?
Yeah.
Beyond Strictly.
Like, is this just a bump in the road, or is it more serious?
Right. Is this a wake-up call, or is this, a career changer?
It really brings up that whole cancel culture debate.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Some people might say, look, what he did was wrong, but taking away the tour and the radio show is a bit much.
Maybe he deserves a chance to learn from this.
Yeah, a chance to grow.
But then others might say the BBC is right to be tough.
Gotta set a standard.
Exactly. To make sure everyone feels safe and respected.
That's important.
It is. But it's tricky, isn't it?
It's not black and white.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So what do you think, listener? Where do you stand on this whole cancel culture thing? Too far or totally necessary?
It's a conversation we keep having.
We do. And not just about entertainment. about everything.
It's like we're trying to figure out where the lines are.
And they're blurry, right? What's a joke to one person is offensive to another.
Absolutely. So it's about being aware of how our words and actions affect others.
Yeah, even if you don't mean it in a bad way.
Intention versus impact.
Right. And it's not just about the person who messed up.
There's a ripple effect.
The dancers, the crew, the audience, they're all affected by this.
We forget about those people sometimes.
We do. It's like throwing a rock in a pond. The ripples go everywhere.
And these ripples are making us ask some big questions.
About accountability, forgiveness, what it means to create a safe and inclusive space.
Important questions.
And at the end of the day, isn't that what we all want? A place where everyone feels respected and valued.
A place where we can learn and grow.
Exactly. This whole Wynne Evans thing, messy as it is.
It's a good starting point for those conversations.
You got it. This deep dive has given us a lot to think about.
A lot to unpack.
And we're not done yet. We'll be right back to wrap things up and leave you with some final thoughts to ponder.
And we're back, finishing up our deep dive into all this Wynne Evans stuff. It's been a wild ride, for sure. So what are your thoughts so far, listener? Are we overreacting? Or are these consequences, like, totally warranted? You know, it's interesting how this is like a reflection of a bigger thing happening.
Oh, yeah. What do you mean?
Like what might have flown a few years back, especially in entertainment.
Right.
It's under a microscope now, you know?
Yeah, it's like we're all redrawing the lines.
We are. And that gets tricky sometimes.
It does, because what's harmless to one person?
Right. Could be super offensive to someone else.
This Wynne Evans thing really shows that, huh?
It does, and it makes you think about how your words, even if you're joking,
Yeah.
can really land differently with different people.
Intention versus impact.
Exactly. We could all stand to remember that a little more often.
Absolutely. Not
Yeah.
just in showbiz, but like everywhere.
Everywhere. And context matters, too.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Like the same comment
Right. Could be fine in one situation.
and totally out of line in another.
Exactly. It's about the how, the who, the where.
It's a lot.
It is. And it's
Wow.
something we got to keep in mind, you know, as these lines keep moving.
They do keep moving. So as we wrap up, what are some like big takeaways here? What can we all learn from this mess?
I think the main thing is words have power, right?
Big power.
We've got a responsibility to use them carefully and respectfully.
Yeah. Thinking about how they might affect others.
Absolutely. And maybe, just maybe, we can all try to be a little more empathetic.
Oh, I like that.
Put yourself in the other person's shoes, you know?
It's not always easy, but it's important.
It is. For a better world and all that.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay.
So as we navigate all this change, maybe a little more grace, a little more understanding, and a lot more open conversations.
That's the ticket. We're all in this together after all.
Well said. And on that note, we're wrapping up this deep dive. We hope you found it interesting and maybe even learned a thing or two. And until next time, keep those minds curious and keep talking to each other.